you and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this video we're going to the bourbon capital of the world. Nope, it's not my kitchen cabinet, it is Bardstown, Kentucky. Bardstown, Kentucky has a population of just over 14,000. It was voted the most beautiful small town in America, and also boasts of being the bourbon capital of the world. And it is also home to one of the strangest cases I have come across. In the area, there have been 5 unsolved murders and disappearances that seem very likely related. Known as the Bardstown Murders or the Nelson County Murders, something very strange is going on in a town about an hour south of Louisville. – 2013 was the year it began, with 33-year-old Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis, a 7-year veteran of the department and a member of the K-9 unit. On May 25th, Ellis had just gotten off work and was driving home when he found a stack of freshly cut tree limbs blocking the road at his exit off the Bluegrass Parkway. After exiting his police cruiser to investigate, he was ambushed. Ellis was fatally shot multiple times with a 12-gauge shotgun.
This is the first police officer in the history of the Bardstown Police Department to be shot and killed in the line of duty. The officer had not called out on anything. We believe he had stopped to either assist something in the roadway.
Officer Ellis never fired a shot from his service weapon. It was still holstered. We believe that this was a premeditated murder. However, we are not certain whether Officer Ellis was the target.
The person who called 911 told officers she and another driver in a second vehicle couldn't take the on-ramp, so they got out to approach the officer after waiting a while. That's when they called 911.
His murder remains unsolved. Roughly a year later, in April 2014, the town was rocked by a brutal double homicide of 48-year-old Kathy Netherland and her 16-year-old daughter, Samantha. Their dead bodies were discovered by Kathy's father after she failed to show up for work at Bardstown Elementary School, where she taught special education. It was a savage double murder. Kathy had been shot several times, Samantha bludgeoned, and both their throats were slashed.
Kathy and Samantha Netherland made an impression.
Just to know the caliber of folks that they were, the kind of family they were, and how much they mean to us, and how sorely we're going to be missing them.
We're also told that Kathy Netherland's oldest daughter is in college. KSP is now asking for any residents and any businesses between Botland and Bardstown who have surveillance video of Springfield Road or Kentucky 150, that's this road here behind me, to contact KSP.
Kentucky State Police, they have no motive or suspect for the double homicide. One of the only clues released was a blurry gas station surveillance photo of a black Chevrolet Impala. Police suspect the driver of that car may have information about the case. Otherwise, that also remains unsolved. That is 2 cases within the space of a year that remain unsolved in this small town. There's a lot more to come. In 2015, 35-year-old Crystal Rogers, she vanished. Rogers was last seen on July 3rd at the home she shared with her boyfriend, Brooks Hugh. 2 days later, her mother reported her missing. The same day, her car was found abandoned along the Bluegrass Parkway with a flat tire, and her belongings still in it.
On July the 3rd, 2015, I got a phone call. At that minute, I just panicked. I was starting to fall apart in the living room. I'm like, there's something wrong. I'm telling y'all, I've been telling y'all all weekend, there's something wrong.
And what did she say to you about her future plans at that time?
She was planning on starting a new job and moving out and leaving the father of her child.
Whose name is Brooks?
Yes.
So she was going to leave him?
She was going to leave him.
And she told you that?
Yes.
Her aunt Shelley Barnes disappeared in 1979. This is not the first tragedy to befall his family, and it's not the last. That case was never solved. Crystal Rogers' mother, Sherry Ballard, believes that her daughter disappeared because she overheard something maybe she shouldn't have, related to the murder of police officer Jason Ellis. Rogers' parents were quick to voice their suspicions of Crystal's boyfriend, Brooks.
Had you and Crystal ever talked about breaking up?
I mean, obviously we have fought just like any other couple in the last several years. I mean, it's came up.
When you said you all had talk about splitting up, had that been more recently?
I don't remember the exact dates.
Well, the reason I ask is because there are some people that she's associated with that are telling us that she had made some tentative plans to leave.
That's news to me. I don't know anything about that.
However, Brooks' brother Nick was an officer within the Bardstown police. Less than 6 months after Crystal disappeared, Nick was fired from the police force for allegedly interfering with the investigation of Crystal Rogers' disappearance. Nick was accused of warning his brother that detectives planned to interview him and advised him not to speak with them.
In the interrogation room, Brooks got a call from his brother Nick, an officer in the local Bardstown police. And it sounded like Nick was telling his brother to end the interview.
I know that, but the way that I look at it is I'm innocent, I ain't done nothing wrong. I'll do exactly what you're telling me to do right now. You want me to get up and leave?
The sudden turn of events caught Detective Snow by surprise.
Though he later said that he only contacted his brother to tell him that they may be trying to trip him up and he should protect himself.
What are the questions? Do you know where Crystal is right now? Are you hiding any information about what happened to Crystal? See, you didn't tell me the truth on both of those questions.
I don't give a what your computer said, okay?
I think you do.
I'm telling you that I have been 100% honest with you.
Right. Then, bizarrely, on November 19th, 2016, Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, was fatally shot in the chest while out hunting by an unknown gunman.
From the minute that my daughter started missing, my husband was like the investigator. I knew in my heart it was no accident.
He was out with his 11-year-old grandson and on family property at the time of his death. Police ruled out the child as the shooter. Police have yet to classify Ballard's death as a homicide. Maybe it was accidental, but it seems quite strange and bizarre, maybe, that it's not a coincidence.
We're just asking anybody whether they think it's important, whether it's just something they noticed and it could not be anything to them. It may be huge for us.
Police have said at this time they have no reason to believe they're connected, but it's not something they're discarding either.
But Ballard family friend Kim Abel says nobody she knows believes it was an accident.
I feel like all the community is concerned with their safety. With all the unsolved murders.
Kentucky has had issues with drug epidemics, so it's not surprising that many believe these murders and disappearances could have something to do with a drug operation or drug trade operating in that area. Some believe that Jason Ellis was killed as he was cracking down on the drug trade. An anonymous inmate said Ellis was shot because he was close to an investigation of a ring of storage shed burglaries and business burglaries. According to the inmate, the burglarized storage units contained high-end antiques and drugs. The inmate also said that at least 4 men were hired by an unidentified person to carry out Ellis's murder.
Weeks after Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis was assassinated, the department receives threats claiming others are in danger.
These threats are even more alarming in light of the fact that Jason Ellis's killer is still on the loose. These threats were made last Thursday and Friday. One was a phone call. The other was a letter addressed straight to the police chief, both of them claiming that what happened to Officer Ellis will happen again.
I think it's somebody probably sitting at home that's half nuts and the other half's high on some type of drug, dreaming it up, wishing it would happen perhaps. In other words, if you're going to shoot one of us again or you want to harm one of us again, you're going to do it. You're not going to give us the heads up.
Amy Ellis, Jason's wife, worked as a substitute teacher at the same elementary school as Kathy Netherland. Kathy Netherland taught their son, who had Down syndrome. Perhaps Kathy or her daughter witnessed something which led to them being killed. It's likely Crystal did hear or learn something she shouldn't have, which led to her death. Her car, it was found on the same road on which Jason was killed. Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, was killed likely because he wouldn't stop investigating his daughter's disappearance. Now, hunting accidents, they happen all the time, but that's quite a coincidence, don't you think? Thank you so much for watching. As always, links in the description if you want to learn more about this case, maybe investigate it yourself, work away. I'll see you in the next video. Mike out.